Have you ever heard someone say something like, man, I'm 424, chasing subs, stacking portals, and hoping my hookah works? And you thought, are we still speaking English? Today, we're decoding the language of points and miles so it finally makes sense. Welcome back to the Points Rookie. I'm Lane, and today we're doing a Duolingo-style crash course in the language of points and miles. This game has more acronyms than a government agency, and beginners are expected to figure it out. Nope, not here, not on my watch. And by the end of this episode, you'll know key acronyms, slang, and strategy terms that make this world make much more sense, and you'll feel much more confident using them. But before we get into the main topic, let's talk through a segment that I absolutely love, which is called What's in Other People's Wallet? This is the part of the show where we learn from real people making real decisions with their own wallets. Not the optimized spreadsheet version of travel, but the actual choices travelers make in the wild. This week's wallet comes from a friend of mine who had to make a choice between two premium heavy hitters, the Amex Platinum and the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And the deciding factor wasn't points or credits or annual fees. It was her home airport. And her home airport has a Centurion lounge. And it does not have a Sapphire lounge. That was it. That was the whole decision. She went platinum because the lounge she actually is going to use is the one that Amex offers. And that's the point of the segment. The best card is the one that fits your life, your airport, and your travel patterns, not the one that wins in comparison charts or what celebrities are telling you or what influencers on Instagram or podcasts are telling you. And if you're not familiar with the Centurion lounges, they're American Express's signature airport lounge. Full meals, cocktails, barista coffee, quiet workspaces, showers. They feel more like a boutique hotel than an actual airport. So if your home airport has one, that may alone change your entire travel experience. And right now, the American Express Platinum has one of its strongest welcome offers. Depending on your eligibility, you can get up to 175,000 membership rewards points after you spend $12,000 in the first 6 months. And yes, that high annual fee of $895, that's right, you heard me say it, $895. But there are big perks that really offset it. They have airline credits, Uber Cash and Uber One, Resi, Saks Fifth Avenue, Lululemon, streaming credits, prepaid hotel, Walmart Plus, Clear Plus, Equinox, hotel status, and Hilton. I'm just reading through a big old list. You get the point. The point is there's a lot of perks to this. So in her case, the lounge access that she would actually use and a large number of benefits that she would actually take advantage of to offset that annual fee, and it had a big welcome offer. The Platinum became the obvious choice. And this is exactly why learning the language of points and miles matters. Because once you understand the terms, these decisions get way easier. Even if you're not ready for a premium card yet, no worries. But understanding why people choose them helps you build a better long-term strategy. And once you understand why they choose cards, like my friend choosing the Platinum, it's because it actually fit her real life. The whole points world begins to feel a lot less mysterious and makes a lot more sense for you. And that brings us to today's main topic, because if you're going to make smart decisions like that, you need to understand the language that this game speaks. The acronyms, the slang, the strategy terms, all the stuff that sounds confusing until somebody breaks it down for you, starting today. So let's start building your vocabulary one term at a time, beginning with SUB, S-U-B. That stands for sign-up bonus. This is the big chunk of points that you earn when you meet a minimum spend after opening up a card. And this is where most of your points will come from, and certainly the quickest. Next, MSR stands for minimum spend requirement. This is the amount that you need to spend to earn the sign-up bonus. Planning your spend keeps you from overspending just to chase these points. Next is AF, which stands for annual fee. This is the yearly cost of holding a card. Fees are not bad. They just need to be outweighed by the value that you get. Next up, APR. That's the annual percentage rate. That's the interest rate on your credit card. So carrying a balance wipes out the value of your points instantly. And as a reminder, these travel rewards cards carry high interest rates. Next term, transfer partners. These are airlines or hotels that you can move your points to for better value. And as you know, this is where the magic happens. Transfer partners unlock the biggest redemption. Next, portals. Bank travel booking sites where you can redeem points. Portals are the easiest way for beginners to get more value without having advanced strategies. But I know you're going to stick with me and learn these advanced strategies and take your points so much farther. Okay, here we go. MR, membership rewards from Amex. UR, ultimate rewards for Chase. TY are thank you points from Citi. And Capital One miles. These are Capital One's flexible currency. Knowing each bank's language helps you understand which ecosystem fits your goals. So imagine you're booking a quick weekend trip, and the flight is, let's say, $280, or it would cost you 22,000 points when you went through that bank's portal. But then you know better, so you check the transfer partners, and you see that moving your points to United actually gets you the same flight for only 10,000 miles. That's right, the same seat and the same plane, but for half the points. That's why knowing these terms, and they really matter, it turns numbers into real savings. So quiz time. If a card offers 80,000 points after you spend $4,000 in 3 months, what is that called? That's right, that is the sub, the sign-up bonus. And that $4,000 that you needed to spend to hit the sub, that's called, that's right, the MSR. And if you move your points from a bank to an airline for better value, what would that be called? That's right, you move them to a transfer partner. You're doing really well, keep it up. So if a card charges you a yearly cost, what is that fee called? That's right, that's that AF, the annual fee. All right, y'all are doing great. Let's get into the slang. These are the things that you will hear people in the hobby talking about, so I want you to be aware. All right, friends, quick mid-episode break, proudly brought to you by absolutely no one. That's right, this show is currently powered by caffeine, enthusiasm, and the hope that one day a sponsor will appear like a surprise American Express offer. Brands, if you're listening, this is your moment. Step into the light. I'm ready. And for everyone else, if you're enjoying the show, hit subscribe or share it with a friend. And if you want to fuel the caffeine part of this operation, you can buy me a coffee. Totally optional, always appreciated. Links in the show notes. All right, back to it. P2, also known as Player 2. This is your partner or spouse who also earns points to double your strategy. And spoiler alert, my P2 is going to be a guest on an upcoming show very soon. Next is churning. This is when you open and close cards repeatedly for bonuses. FYI, banks are not a fan of this. Next would be downgrade. This is when you switch a card to a lower fee version instead of just outright canceling it. Next, sock drawer. This is a card that you keep, but you rarely use. So you stash it in your sock drawer. MS is next. That is manufactured spend. These are creative ways to meet minimum spends without real purchases. Let me just say, these are risky, and I don't think they're worth it. And if you do this, you very well may be the next term, which is shut down, when a bank closes your account for suspicious activity. Next term, sweet spot. This is a redemption that gives you outsized value. And then the opposite of that may be devaluation. This is when a program raises points cost. So let me give you what I think is a pretty clear example. And this is what happened with the Hyatt category hotels. So Hyatt category 1 through 4 hotels over the last couple of years. They used to price this range of property from 5,000 to 8,000 points per night. But after a devaluation, those same hotels moved up a category and now they cost 9,000 to 12,000 points per night for the same room. Nothing changed about the hotel. Nothing changed about the experience. Only the points price went up. That's what devaluation is. Your points buy less than they used to. All right, the next one's kind of fun. And you heard me mention it in the open. Hookah. Huca. Hang up and call again. If one rep says no, be polite and try another. So why would we do this? So let's say you applied for a card and you got denied. This is going to happen from time to time. You can't take it personally. Most banks allow you to call the reconsideration line. And so that rep may say something like, we can't approve you because you already have a card with us. That's not a real rule, by the way. That's just that rep's interpretation. So hookah, hang up, call again matters because you might get a different rep and almost always will get a different rep who look at the same application and say, no problem. I can move some credit around and approve you. All right, here we go. Quiz time. What do we call your partner who helps you earn points? That's right, P2. What is a card called that you keep open but you don't really use very often? That's right, you put it in your sock drawer. Now, let's level up with some strategy terms. 524. It's a big one. This means the 524 rule, I should say, is a rule that says Chase won't approve you if you've opened 5 or more cards in 24 months. Now, this isn't an officially documented, but there's a lot of data points around this. Double dip. This is when you earn 2 bonuses or perks from one transaction. So let me give you a quick example. A hotel chain runs a promo where you earn double points on paid stays. At the same time, your credit card also earns a category bonus, say 3 times the points. So you book one hotel night and you get the promo bonus from the hotel, the category bonus from your credit card. So one transaction, 2 separate bonuses, that's a double dip. Next would be stacking. This is when you combine multiple offers for extra value. Next slang would be anchor card. This is your main card that sets your ecosystem. So for us, that would be our Chase Sapphire Preferred. And then ecosystem. And I know you know what an ecosystem is because we talk about it, but in case you've missed an episode or you forgot, an ecosystem is the set of cards from one bank that works together so all your points pool in one place and become more valuable. It's your home base for earning and redeeming. And once you have points in an ecosystem, what is a redemption rate? That's the value that you get per point. Cash versus points analysis. This is comparing the cash price of a flight or hotel to the points price to see which gives you the better value. If paying cash saves your points for a much higher value later, you pay cash. If the points price gives you strong value, you use the points. Final quiz. What's Chase's rule that limits approvals based on recent account opening? That's right, it's the 524 rule. And what do we call combining multiple offers for extra value? You're killing it. It's called stacking. So let's put everything together for a quick recap. Sub and MSR are how you earn your first big chunk of points. And AF and APR help you understand the real cost of the card. Transfer partners and portals are how you turn those points into real travel. And then P2 stacking and ecosystem help you level up your strategy. 524 sweet spots and cash first point analysis help you make smarter decisions as you grow. And once you know this language, the entire points world opens up. You stop guessing, you can start strategizing, and you start making decisions that actually fit your life, just like the wallet we talked about earlier and the choice of the American Express Platinum. You're not just learning terms, you're learning a new way to travel. Every acronym, every strategy, every little moment of clarity you had today is another step toward trips you didn't think were possible. And you're doing it the right way, with confidence, with intention, and without wasting time on all the noise that doesn't really matter. So, if this episode helped you feel even a little bit more fluent in the points world, I ask that you share it with someone who's ready to level up. And if you want to go deeper, or you've got a question you want answered on the show, send me a message or send me an email at lane@pointsrookie.com. We're just getting started here. And every week, you're getting closer to traveling the way that you actually want to travel. So, my friends, until next time, let's keep going from clueless to confident in the points and miles world. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.